Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237, coming at you with another David Cronenberg review. And this is probably one of his most classic films, most well-known films. This was the first Cronenberg film I ever saw, and that is Scanners, 1981. And I really enjoy this film. It is probably my second favorite Cronenberg film, behind The Fly. And the funny thing is, even though this movie is a classic, it's always got, it's always received, it's always got good reviews. Jesus, stuff here, focusing on other shit. It's always had good reviews, but there is one thing, really one thing only that people remember or talk about in this film, and that is the head explosion. In the very beginning, the head explosion. And without a doubt, that is the best head explosion in film. The only ones that even remotely come close would be Tom Savini in Maniac, which is pretty close. That's still pretty damn good. And maybe the one in the beginning of Dawn of the Dead. But this, I mean, how it happens, why it happens, the context of the scene and the plot, and the actual effect itself, beautiful. It looks great. Beautiful head explosion, the best. And the funny thing is I knew this movie as the head explosion movie years before I even saw it, because that's what it's known for, the head explosion. So, like, I was a young kid watching Tommy Boy, Wayne's World. There was a joke references to Scanners dealing with, stress or head or something. So I always do it as, that's the head explosion movie. But I didn't even see it till I was like 19 or 20. And yeah, this was the first film I saw of David Cronenberg, knowing it was a Cronenberg film. And I really do enjoy it. I really enjoyed A Videodrome, which I have reviewed. I do really like The Brood, which I will be reviewing next. The Fly is still my favorite, but Scanners has to be my second. This is actually written and directed by him. Apologize ahead of time for how I sound. I know I'm stuffy. The weather's been rainy, then nice, then rainy. It's really fucking up my allergies, so I apologize. And if you have seen my Videodrome video, you'll notice I kind of struggled to explain the plot, because that's a big thing with Cronenberg films. They're fucking out there. I mean, this one has kind of a simple plot, but a lot of the, finer plot points can get kind of harder to explain. Basically, what this is, so at this time, on the old tagline, this is the original cover, it just doesn't have the tagline, which is, there are 4 billion people on Earth. 237 of them, 237 of them are scanners. They have the most terrifying power ever created, and they're winning. Their thoughts can kill. So you don't find out until the end how they came to be, but a scanner is someone who, with their mind, can do anything. They can control people, control their thoughts, what they do, what they see. They can make you see things, do things. It even goes beyond people. It goes even like cyberkinetically, I guess it'd be called. They can scan computers with their mind and receive data or plug in data that way. They are like the ultimate machine, or the ultimate weapon. And basically what it is, I guess they were kind of like these hidden people, hidden secrets for a while. And our lead is a guy named Cameron Vale, played by Stephen Lack. He's our lead. He's found somewhere in like a food court. No memory of who he is, his name, his parents. And that's when he's told by Dr. Ruth, played by Patrick McGoohan, excuse me, that he's a scanner. And, tells him how to use it, sort of becomes his aide, his father figure, his Alfred, if you will. But at the same time, there's like this lecture or conference or this demonstration where a scanner is going to demonstrate how scanning works to a group of people. And the volunteer for the audience is played by Michael Ironside. And that's where we get the head explosion. The guy's supposed to be demonstrating how scanners scan, but Michael Ironside plays Daryl Revick, who is the unparalleled master scanner. So he makes his head explode. And from there, he's rushed out by these guys that are really, important people. It's like this big project, essentially. This big government thing. But he's able to escape because he's able... Very well acting, too. A lot of times when there's, like, mind control, it can get kind of hokey. And, I mean, he is doing a lot of, like... But it doesn't look cheesy when he does it. Even the guys he's controlling, like, they'll have, like, the gun, it's like they're shaking. So basically, he's a pissed off scanner. And he's going rogue. He wants to pretty much take down this company called, I can't really remember the name of it. Does it say on here? He wants to go after, Consec. That's the sort of company that Dr. Ruth runs. And Vale is sort of like the chosen one, I guess. He's the one that has to figure out how to get to and stop Revick. And I just want to say, Michael Ironside is always good at playing villains. Or just bad guys. He has that look, that voice, and he's just good at playing bad guys. This one, however, is a very... I don't really want to say underrated, because, this film has been received well. But I would say underappreciated or under-talked about. Great villain performances, especially the climax. And also, you really only see him in the beginning and at the end. But the climax, even Time magazine says, a climax that is literally mind-blowing. So, pretty much it's Vale and this one woman who's also a scanner. They're pretty much just following lead after lead after lead. One of which is, I want to get the actor's name because I never remember it for some reason. Robert Silverman. He's, you've seen him before. I think he's a friend of Cronenberg's. He's in a number of his films. He was in Jason X. He's a scanner that they go to get information. But of course, Revick has people under him that's going after him. You do get, so it is kind of slow. I mean, it's an hour 43 minutes. You get a lot of scanning in the beginning, and then it's just sort of, very... it is very sporadic. it is kind of a slower paced film. But, you know, like, there's a point where they find out there's something to do with this drug called ephemeral. And, you know, so they have to go see the doctor who's been prescribing it. And, like, there's a scene where the woman he's with is being scanned by this woman's unborn baby. I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but, okay, so so they get to, like, Revik's place. And they, like, scan the guards to look like the guards' mothers and to look disappointed. And that kind of shatters them. For some reason. And then they find out that, you know, what's causing scanners is this drug called ephemeral. So they go to the only doctor that's been prescribing it. That's when the woman is scanned by the unborn baby. And, you know, then there's, well, first, how he finds that out is because, you know, he's able to connect into Consec's computers through the phone. And there's this cool scene where sort of Revik's right-hand guy tells one of the lab guys to do like a self-destruct, like an inner self-destruct thing on the computer, because Vale's nervous system and the computers are one. So by doing that, it will probably kill him. It doesn't, but you do kind of go like inside the computer where you see like, I don't know, little computer things and like smoke, and you hear like heartbeats. Just very Cronenberg-esque, like Videodrome TV looking stuff. As he's, you know, suffering from that. Also, like, when they go to see the guy I mentioned before, the Robert Silverman guy, who's an artist, and all of Revik's guys are coming after him. Stephen Lack, his acting is kind of not the best. Like, when he does his scanning, there's a lot of, like, or even just some of his deliveries is just like, I don't know who I am. You were supposed to tell me. And basically, so pretty much you have a good scanner, bad scanner, trying to figure out everything. I know I'm all over the place. My mind is on how stuffy I am, to be honest. And there's just a lot of things I want to talk about, and it's just getting all jumbled up, so forgive me. This isn't my best review. But the climax, though, is awesome. It's one of my favorite, you know, big endings of any movie. And spoilers, but so Vale and Revik are finally having a sit down. And that's when Revik reveals to him that they're brothers. Ruth is their father. And they were pretty much accidents. Ephemeral was prescribed to pregnant women back in the 40s. Everything was fine, but the babies had side effects, which was them being scanners. And pretty much Revik was like kind of like a lab rat, and you know, he grew to hate the company. Vale was pretty much literally put on ice until they needed him. Like, they sort of knew Revik was going to go rogue, so they kept Vale, the only guy that could rival him, on ice. And that's where they finally have a last battle of the minds. The music is great. The music is Howard Shore, I'm guessing. Almost always is. I'll check real quick. Yep, Howard Shore. I think the Dead Zone is the only one Howard Shore didn't do. And even that is well done. Like, I mean, Stephen Lack is kind of just... While Michael Ironside's kind of doing all that stuff. But the effects, I mean, there are like huge veins just like instantly spreading down their arms and their face. Blood like squirting out of them. And it looks good too. And it's all practical. And then like there's a point like where Bale's chest like bursts and there's like smoking acidic blood coming out. Then Bale's eyes pop. Then Revik's eyes turn all white. That's actually from that scene. But the way it's edited and with the music and the effects and how they look, it's horrific and it's beautiful. You know, I like every Howard Shore score he's done for Cronenberg. The Fly is still my favorite score. But the one in this is still really awesome. And I don't find it cheesy when Michael Ironside's doing all like that stuff. I think it fits. But like the way the veins look, it's like, I don't even know how they did it. Like, I don't know. Blood's like squirting out and like the way the eyeballs burst. The ending, the very, very, very ending is kind of confusing. Because basically Revik, he's trying to manufacture ephemeral. We find this out at the end. So he can create a world of scanners. It'd pretty much be a god, a king. Vale knows that's not right. So that's why you had the battle. And that's where, going to see the doctor comes in and, find out about ephemeral. I'm hoping this review is making sense. I mean, if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. I mean, if you like anything body horror, like The Fly or Videodrome, yeah, this is great. But the very ending where I'll have to actually look it up because I was kind of confused. I've seen it a number of times, but very long periods in between. Basically, because I can't remember why, but Revik has like a scar on his forehead that he calls the eye. So when the woman that's been helping Vale the whole time goes in the room after she sees like an eviscerated corpse with dust all around him, and then we see Michael Ironside with green eyes. Vale has green eyes. It is Vale's voice, and he doesn't have the scar. So I'm assuming they've come together, but he's the stronger consciousness. But yeah, again, I hope this made any lick of sense. Scanners, it is a classic. I think either I'm too excited or too focused on my fucking allergies again to really do it justice. I don't really want to go plot point by plot point by plot point because, because if you haven't seen it, I want you to see the movie. Or if you've already seen it, you already know it. But yeah, just like the highlights, I just got to get them in fucking order. Yeah. So I would say the only acting I had a problem with was Stephen Lack at times. Whether it be because he's not acting enough when he's doing his scanning, or because his delivery is kind of like, that's not right. I don't know. I can't remember. Michael Ironside, very underrated villain in this. Daryl Revick, great performance. Especially at the end. Great head explosion. All around great effects. Even just when people are getting shot, the good blood effects and great music. Really classic Cronenberg film. Highly recommend it. My second favorite behind The Fly. But anyway, yeah, again, I hope this review isn't as bad as I think it is. But more Cronenberg reviews are coming, so stay tuned for the next one, which will be The Brood. Thank you for watching.